Good to have you here.
Sandra, thank you.
Even some Democrats have been reluctant, obviously, to throw their support behind lifting Title 42 because of the estimates of the surge at the border. Even government estimates say that that number is going to rise to 18,000 migrants coming over the southern border a day, Senator. Have you received any further explanation or plan as to how this administration plans to handle that surge?
No, just the opposite. We are very concerned because we already have an unprecedented situation at the border. It is a crisis about to become a catastrophe. Roughly half the people are now being turned away under Title 42, which is a public health authority. So just by logic, you would say, well, that means twice as many people are going to come. However, it's likely to be worse than that because the traffickers all over the world are telling people you can now come into the United States. That's why we've seen higher levels already. So instead of 8,000 people a day, you're right, some predict as many as 18,000. This will totally overwhelm the Border Patrol and keep them from being able to do their important job of both dealing with illegal migration, but also illegal drugs. So it's a huge problem. And what the administration has said in response will not help with regard to deterring people. It will only help with regard to processing people to get them into our country more quickly, which is not the solution.
As I just mentioned, it's not popular to lift Title 42, knowing that that surge of migrants will come. Do you expect this administration to give, considering the pressure that they are facing?
Well, they certainly should, because it's the right thing to do. At this point, we still have a national health care emergency. We still have a situation where we're asking people to use social distancing with regard to ICE beds. So, in other words, the COVID crisis is still here in the eyes of the administration. And yet in this one case, they are saying that we can no longer use it. So it doesn't make sense. But I also think that the fact that there are at least 11 Democrats in the Senate who have spoken up already and said, this doesn't make sense. Why would we want to take away the one tool that is being effective right now in deterring illegal immigration? So I think it's a tough one for them politically to withstand as well.
A lot of Americans have questions over this newly announced Disinformation Board, and Nina Jankowicz, the leader of that, Mayorkas over the weekend threw his full support behind it. Just curious your take and what you want to know from him about that.
Well, we'll talk about that today. It shocked all of us. None of us were given a heads up about it. There already is a global engagement center. It's at the State Department. It deals with disinformation from places like Russia. Wait, I just heard about the Zelensky interview, and one of the things that Russia is doing in Ukraine, of course, is a hybrid war. They're bombarding them with disinformation as well as missiles. We have an organization to deal with that. In fact, we should fund that more to deal with China, North Korea, Iran, and other countries that are sending disinformation into the United States. So we're not quite sure what this is for. In fact, there seems to be no mission attached to it, even though it's been in existence for a couple months now. So, Sandra, I do have deep concerns about it, and we're going to raise it.
We'll see your questioning later today.